Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the call. Hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to get started in a little minute here. I usually wait till 9:32 because I've got 2 minutes of grace in my system. Thank you guys for being on. Be sure if you have new people on your team, just send them a little message just as a reminder, especially if it's not part of their routine yet. That's really helpful. All right, we'll get started here in just one more minute. Grab a notebook, grab a little detox tea, or however you like to finish your evening, of course. And thank you so much for being on. Guys, I'll flood it on right away, and it's awesome. Thank you, thank you. And we have an incredible, hey, Devin, we have an incredible trainer tonight that I can't wait to introduce, but I'll just wait another second here. Thanks for saying hi. Wonderful, wonderful. Shoot that last second text to anyone new, you guys, because new or newer, or just anyone who might not have this as part of their regular routine quite yet. Maybe you're brand new on this call tonight, but I just want to welcome all of you. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for, hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for, I love Sarah. Sarah introduced me to Arbonne. I said yes after I said no for a whole year. But you guys are going to get to hear from an amazing trainer tonight. And I just want to give her a little time to get on and make sure that she's here. And so, Laura, when you are here, if you don't mind, just to just pop a little message in the text so I can, I can see you, Laura. I see you. Oh, gosh, I'm going to cry. No, I'm not going to cry because I'm a big girl, and I just appreciate all of you. So get that last second text out to your team, get your notebook, get your tea. I think we're all set. Takes a couple minutes to settle because, you know, we're all a little type A and a little high maintenance, right? Anybody? Just a little. Thank you, guys. You have an awesome call in store tonight. You showed up for something just really impactful that's going to change your business for sure. And we just really appreciate you being on. So whether you're watching live or you're watching, you might be watching the recording. Maybe you have an event. Maybe you have something going on. We just really appreciate that you're carving time out of your schedule tonight to be showing up for your personal development. Hang on. Some kind of message just came up. I just clicked OK. I don't know what that means. You too can do Arbonne. That's what that means. So anyway, I just want to thank you for being on. Welcome to our United Nations call for the Carleeta Nelson Success Line. If you're like, wait a second, you're not Carleeta, you are correct. My name is Valerie Makowitz, and I'm a National Vice President with Arbonne. Thanks, Christy. I'm sporting my little Buffalo Bills jersey. I root for the underdog, and that's certainly what the Bills are. So if you're a sports fan, you know what I'm talking about. It's going to be an interesting season. If you're not a sports fan, you would be if you lived in Buffalo, New York. And that's where I'm from. I'll be sharing my story a different week, but I don't want to take even 1 second away from our incredible trainer tonight. Her name is Laura Lance, and she is a wonderful national vice president. And I'm just gonna, Laura, if you don't mind, I'd love to just introduce you for people because you're a sideline team. And so many people on this call may not know who you are. If they do know who you are, they don't know your whole story. And so I just want to share a little bit about you so they can get to know you better, and then you can take it away. First of all, Laura and I met on an incentive trip that we earned together, and it was probably the most amazing time ever. I can probably say that pretty honestly. And I learned so much from her, and I just enjoyed being with her. Do you know those kind of people that you just like being near them? That's basically the kind of person Laura is. And in a non-weird way, like I would spend every second with her if she let me. Sorry, Laura, I totally would. But Laura's from Baltimore, Maryland. She lived, and she has a master's in clinical counseling, which is probably why she's a little bit of why she's an excellent communicator, but also because of the amazing, incredible effort that she's walked out in her business. She married her high school sweetheart, who, Laura, I like him just as much as I like you. I hope that's okay to say. I just really do. He's so sweet and wonderful, and I'm so glad that I got to meet him. And you certainly complement each other. And Laura, I would say that you are a team. You have an Arbonne team, but you also have a family team. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about you and that I also learned from you. And they have been, he was a law enforcement, he was in law enforcement, and he served as a detective for 10 years, but there's a little more to that story. They have a 5-year-old little girl named Evelyn who looks like this little angel on earth that was like just implanted here. And she actually started Arbonne 8 years ago. So in case you're wondering if she has some experience and knowledge and credibility, take notes. And she replaced her personal income in about 6 months when she went region. Then she went region in about 2 years, and she promoted to nation last November. So that's exciting. We're celebrating that. She was able to retire her husband from that detective job 1.5 years ago, you guys. And I think that's really important to know, because some of you have that on your little dream board, your big dream board. And her family volunteers full-time with Medical Missions Outreach. It's a Christian-based medical missions organization, and they take medical and vision care to developing countries throughout the year while sharing the love of Jesus. And they just so happen to be leaving in a couple hours, literally. And she has blessed us with her presence tonight, even though she's leaving in a hot second. So Laura, I'm going to unmute you in 1 second, and I'm just going to let you take it away. Thank you for letting me introduce you, because I think it's really important for what you're going to share, that people understand the experience that you've had. So Laura, I see you. There we go.
All right.
Got you.
Yes, Val, I love you so much. That's the best introduction I've ever gotten. I love you just as much, and I would let you spend every second with me, because you are a breath of fresh air. So many people on this team I care about. I'm already seeing some messages from some of my other friends on here. Thank you for being encouraging. I'm a little nervous. I've never trained on a coaching call or a Zoom call this size. So I'm really excited and grateful and humbled to have been asked to share. I love training. I love training, and when I'm asked to train, unless I'm given a topic, I always do my go-to training, which is my story, because I think that is the most powerful training, the most powerful information you can get from any vice president is for them to share their story, because we all have ups and downs, hills and valleys, and I think what is most inspiring is the struggle and seeing them come out the other side. And so I'm kind of going to tell you my story in a roundabout way tonight. I guess I don't have to introduce myself because Val shared, but it is true. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, live in Baltimore, Maryland. My husband does missions work. He goes on about 10, 11 missions trips every single year. And we have to be at the Cleveland airport at 5 a.m. So literally in like 8 hours, I will be at the airport headed to Moldova, which will be my only missions trip with him this year. But I'm so excited to go. It's been a hot second since I've been on a missions trip. So I'm anxious. But when I was asked to train tonight, I was like, oh my gosh, put me in the calendar. I'm so psyched. Okay, so I'm going to share my story, and I'm going to share my training with you called The 4 Things. And this is how I'm going to share my story. So really, I got to thinking a while ago when I went nation, how I wanted to share my story. And really, it came down to, what would I have wanted to hear when I first signed up? What would I have wanted my sponsor, my MVP, to sit me down, sit across the table from me, look me in the eye, and say, you will be a national vice president on this day. This is the day. For me, it was November 30th, 2018. Yeah, 2018. So if Carrie Kane, who's my MVP, she was on stage at GTC this year, which is So fantastic. She's my upline. If she would have sat me down the day I got my ID and said, here's the deal. On November 30th, 2018, you will promote to nation. It's going to take you 8 years. It's going to be really hard. There's going to be some really amazing times. There's going to be some really stinky times. You're going to cry sometimes. You're going to promote out 3 direct regions, and it's going to be one of the highlights of your life. All of those things are going to come to pass, but stick with it, because on November 30th, 2018, you are going to be a national vice president. I feel like it would have been easier. I feel like my journey would have been like when that person that I put all my eggs in their basket quit, or that best friend who didn't support me, or that consultant that quit, or like that stuff that was returned on the day that all these other negative things happened and I was in the fetal position crying. I feel like all those things wouldn't have slowed me down as much. All those things wouldn't have hurt as bad. All those things wouldn't have made me question anything, because I knew that on November 30th, 2018, I was going to promote to nation. I just had to keep going, right? So I feel like, Val, I'm just going to, I need you to follow me around in my life so that like you can constantly be like, yeah. Okay. So that's what I want this training to be for you. I want to look at every single one of you. I wish I could look at all of you in the eye and say, if you bring your A game consistently and give this the amount of time your story needs, you will be a national vice president. And if you can just believe that with your whole heart, I guarantee you, you will be a national vice president sooner than later, because you're not going to let things slow you down. I want to show you real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I can't. Okay, that's all right. I was going to show you my screen because every month since I started, I have tracked my volume. And I just wanted to show you what success looks like, because we tend to think that success is just a straight line to the top, but it's not. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. You have like these amazing months, and then your volume might cut in half the next month. And it might stay there for 2 years before it jumps up again. And so I want you guys to know, if say you've been in this business 6 months and you tracked every week of your volume compared to my 8 years, our graphs would look the same. I want you guys to know there's going to be months that aren't so hot, but those months that aren't so hot, when you keep showing up, leads to the peaks in your business. It leads to the points where you promote when you didn't think it was possible. Okay, so I wanted to show you that, but it's okay, I don't need to. My graph shows my story, and my story is full of tears and joys and triumphs and victories, experience. It's full of belief. It's full of doubt. My story is full of learning and fear and fist pumps and love, life. That's what my journey is full of. So from my experience, I want...
Right, I'm going to get my sit down so I can be out here. Yeah.
1 second.
Sure. Who else is ready for a final? Oh, I was like, that's the first ask. What did you need from me?
We did it. Okay. So from my story, I have narrowed this down to 4 things that I think is super important for you to know moving forward through your business. 4 things that if it were told to me at the beginning and I truly took it to heart, would have gotten me to nation sooner. Not that I wish it were that way, because my story is my story and I own and I'm proud of every single day of it. But these are 4 things, okay? So really listen and take this to heart, you guys. Probably heard it all before. The first thing is take responsibility for your business. Take responsibility. Be honest with yourself, okay? Because you're not kidding anybody. You can tell your upline all day that you're working, and we know if you're lying. We know. And it's
I have your final. Who just asked me for a final? Naya? You both ready? Her.
Okay. We can tell. And it's not because of numbers. We can tell. Be honest with you. Be honest with yourself. Are you doing your best? Are you showing up every single day in your business? Are you following the system that your success line has for success? Are you blaming? Are you justifying? Or are you growing? Being a part of Cecilia's success line, you know what this is about, but I just take this to heart. Every time she trains, she says this because it could not be more true. Be honest with you. You do not have to tell anyone else. Be honest with you tonight. Are you blaming the situation of your business right now? Is it because your family's not supportive? Is it because you don't have the right network? Is it because your clients just don't want to order right now? Is it because your team's not working hard enough? Are you blaming the situation of your business? Are you justifying where your business is right now? Because you know what? You have a busy schedule and today was a rough day. So instead of working my business, I deserve to catch up on Grey's Anatomy tonight. I deserve that. I deserve it. So you're justifying away your business. Cecilia said this the last time I heard her train in person. When you blame and justify, you give away the power. You give away the power and the control over your business because you're saying you have no power over it, which means you can't change it. You give away your power. You have to own it. And if you're not blaming and you're not justifying, then you will be growing. And growing is where you show your potential. Growing is where your potential is. And it shows up when you take ownership of your business. So I have a few questions to ask you to share for you to think through yourself to really put you in a place where you are ready to take responsibility for your business. And this shows you what mode you're in. Question 1, are you doing this business your way because it's more comfortable, rather than following the system? Because these questions I'm sharing with you guys are moments I took from my own experience. I promoted to district quickly, but then stayed there for 6 months because I wanted to do it my way, because my success plan, the success plan from my team, made me uncomfortable. So I did it my way and I went nowhere. You guys, the month I chose to do it the way my upline told me to do it, I went into area quals. The month, it took 4 weeks of just doing what they told me to do, facing my fear and making it happen. So are you doing it your way because their way is uncomfortable? If it's not working, you cannot blame anyone but yourself. You have to take ownership. Are you, this is I keep bringing up TV because it is my vice. Are you watching TV at night when you haven't worked your business because you deserve a break? You guys, it's not taking responsibility for the state of your business. Are you consistent a little bit every single day? If you are not, you can't be upset that you're not where you want to be with your business. Are you, this is a wake-up call too, because I think a lot of time we think we're working Arbonne when we're not doing income-producing activity. So do you organize a lot? Are you like a super sample maker? Do you have like 20 lists that are in pretty notebooks and what you have like colorful markers for each different thing? That's great. I'm not telling you you shouldn't have that. But if that's what you're doing and your business isn't growing because you're doing that more than you're asking, then you're not taking responsibility for your business. Here's a couple more things. Like really think through these, you guys. Could you be doing better? Could you be doing better? Do you go to bed every night knowing you did your best for your business? And I'm not telling you what your best should be. And I'm not telling you your best is the same every day, because sometimes it's all you can do to send a single message. But did you do it? Could you have done more? You guys, we have to own our business. If you would have invested $500,000 into starting your Arbonne business, would you be working harder? Would you have given up? Would you have been working harder, or would you think about giving up as much as you do? Would you push it off till tomorrow as many times as you do? If you had a $50,000 loan from the bank, like most traditional businesses have when they start. We have to be invested. You have to shift your mindset and realize that this is a business you are running and you are the CEO. Take ownership of that. The second thing, you have to manage your discouragement. And I'm going to be real honest with you guys. As an MVP, Sometimes it is all I can do to make it through coaching calls with people, because all it is people being discouraged. And sometimes I just want to say, grow up. Can I just say that since I'm not your upline? You guys, this isn't easy all the time. It's not easy all the time. But I think what you have to realize is, not even realize, you have to learn to have thicker skin and not slow down because you got your feelings hurt. This is business. This isn't best friend conversation. This is business. Not everyone's gonna like our products. Not everyone's gonna support your business. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't need everybody to use Arbonne. You don't need everyone to join your business to be a national vice president. Like, that is hands down the truth. Grow up emotionally. Seriously. Stop slowing down because your feelings got hurt. It's keeping you from getting where you want to go. If you could just drop the emotional attachment to the activity, you will move so much more quickly through this business. You'll be the Ashley Strong of Arbonne, because she doesn't care what people think. She keeps asking. She doesn't care. This is the best analogy I got from another network marketing company leader. She said, we need to be like the waitress at Bob Evans on Saturday morning walking around with a coffee pot. You walk around from table to table and you say, would you like a refill on your coffee? And guess what? Some people are going to say no, and some people are going to say yes. Their feelings don't get hurt when that person says no. And it doesn't keep them from going to the next table and asking if they want a refill. And guess what? The next time they come back around to that table 15 minutes later, that person that said no might want a refill this time. That is how you mentally have to work your business. That was a huge mindset shift for me 5 years ago. When I heard that analogy, I literally feel like I became more like a robot in my business when it came to activity. Okay? I want you guys to know a couple things. 90% of the VPs in this success line, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but 90% of VPs that I talk to have experienced 100% of this list I'm going to read off. So brace yourself. This is what you should expect to experience before you become a national vice president. So when it happens to you, know you're in good company and know that you're doing it right, because it means you're out there doing it. Okay, so here's my list. They've had consultants join other businesses after you've prospected them. You've had consultants join other Arbonne teams after you've prospected them. You've had events cancel. You've had every event for the whole month cancel. You've had to return products. You've had 0 sales from an event that you've drove 2 to 4 hours for, or even got in an airplane to go to. Me. Had consultants join your business and then completely disappear. You've had family, best friends, spouses not support them. You had someone that you expected to say yes, give you a hard no. You had no one show up to an open house that you prepared food for 30 people, and you went out and you bought beautiful things at Hobby Lobby to make things look special, and nobody came. I'm seeing hands raised, you guys. You're in good company. You've lost a title. Do you guys know how many national vice presidents has lost a title throughout their journey? If you are someone who's lost a title, you guys, it's okay. It's just a title. Stop attaching your worth to that. That has nothing to do with who you are or whether you can be successful or not. Stand back up, try again. I lost my region title. And I got it back. And you guys, that's the best part of my story. The best part. I'm going to share that in the next step. 90% of VPs have lost a title. And the last thing, I could list things for the next hour. Most months, we do not hit the goals we set for ourselves. In 8 years, I have maybe actually hit my goal 12 times. Okay? That doesn't mean I don't make another huge scary goal for next month. Every month you try to be bigger and better. But if you're setting those big, crazy goals, you're going to fall short most of the time. It doesn't mean you don't work really hard or believe in them, because some months you do hit it. And it is unreal what that feels like. You guys, it is so sweet. It is so sweet. So here's the thing. You're not going to get to the top without being discouraged. Learn to manage it like a CEO. Learn to manage it. None of these things are going to keep you from being successful unless you choose to let them keep you from being successful. This is a business. Treat it like a business. Start acting like you are the CEO of your business. Be more confident in who you are, in what you're doing, and where you're going. Those three things. If you are not solid in those three things, that's what you need to dive into with self-development in the next month. Be confident in who you are, what it is you're doing, and where it is you're going. And if you are confident enough in those things, discouragement is not going to take you out. It's not. You are going to be super, super strong. Okay, the third thing, I got to go through these fast. The third thing, stop comparing. Oh, I could talk about this all day long. Here's the thing. What I want for you guys, every single person on this call, is to be so crazy confident in your story, in the journey you are walking, the road you are taking to nation. I saw an image just a few days ago and I put it on my Insta story, but it was these two beautiful flowers. And one was this small flower with this really pretty yellow petal on it. And the other one was this big bouquet of roses. And the roses looked at the little petal and said, "Your petals are so beautiful." And the petals looked up and said, "Thank you so much. I just don't feel like I'm growing as fast as you are." And the roses said, "We're different flowers, silly." And I was like, oh my God. Like, I love this. I just loved it so much because it's so true. Looking back, you guys, there are so many times I've compared myself to other people. And here it is. You guys have heard this comparison is the thief of all joy. And I always get choked up because the 2 days that I had my greatest success, going nation and promoting to region, I was comparing myself so hardcore that I missed out on the joy. I wish I could go back and do it again. Because the day I promoted to region, there was a girl who came in, and it took me 2 years to get there. There was a girl who came in a year after me and promoted to nation the same day I went region. And all I could think is, how did she get to nation before me? That's all I could think. And it stole the joy from how hard I had worked to go region. Here's the kicker, you guys. Are you ready for this? Brace yourself. She doesn't do Arbonne anymore. And I let it steal my joy. The second time, I found another girl who I had grown up in the business with, a different team completely, and we were both going nation the same time. So I'm like, let's be accountability partners. We talked all month long last September. She went into nation quals and I didn't. And of course, like, I really, really tried to, she never knew it. I was her biggest support. I was so happy for her, but you can't control how you feel on the inside. The next month, I went into qual for nation. You guys, she's still not a nation. But the month I didn't go into quals was the biggest month my team had to date. We did over 140,000. And I was too focused on the fact that I didn't go into quals and she did, that it stole my joy. And she's still not a nation. You guys, we have got to stop looking left to right. We've got to stop comparing our bad days to everyone else on social media, their good days. Because the thing with social media is you choose what you put on social media. Nobody's going to show a picture of themselves crying when they don't hit their goal at the end of the month. They're going to show only the months where they hit their goals. Stop comparing your middle to somebody else's end. Stop comparing your bad day to somebody else's great day, because you don't see what they went through to get to that great day. And it doesn't matter, because you're walking a completely different road than they are. God is giving you a story that's going to inspire other people's, and it has to be different than theirs. It has to. You can't have the same story. So realize that you're going to have different trials at different times, different experiences, so you can bring something different to the table. Stop looking at what somebody else is doing bigger, better, faster than you, because it doesn't mean your story's worse. In my opinion, I feel like the harder it is to get somewhere, the better the story is. I wouldn't trade my 8-year story for a 10-month story anytime. And I'm not talking bad about the girls who went nation in 10 months because I got a lot to learn from them. But here's the deal. They have a lot to learn from me. Okay? So it doesn't matter how fast or slow you get somewhere. We all bring something different to the table. Stop letting comparison steal your joy. You guys, if you cannot look at Peyton Scheibner's Instagram without getting frustrated or jealous, or how does she have all those followers? I'm working so hard to get followers. How does she get 20 girls to join her team this month? Like I got one person say yes to look at a video and they didn't even join. Then stop following her on Instagram. Stop. If you can't look at somebody's story and it excite you and set a goal for you to know I can do it too, then stop following them. Follow the people that inspire you. Follow the people that make you feel like you can too. It doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. You're the one looking at it the wrong way. But until you get your mindset straight, when I was writing this training, I wrote that down and was like, oh my gosh, Laura. I went on and there were 15 Arbonne girls. I had to stop following because I was doing that. You guys, you have to get comparison under control, because for me, going nation, it got worse. It got so much worse. Because there are girls that promoted to nation with me and their organizations are almost 3 times the size mine is now. 3 times. And I know it because millennials are sharing everything on Instagram these days. And I love that. That's great. They can do what they want. But it's hard for me to look at that. We went nation on the same day and your organization is 3 times as big as mine 6 months later. I had to stop because I have to mind my mind. I have to go where I'm supposed to go. I need to be grateful for what I have right now and not be looking at what other people have. The last thing, let me just read one more thing. I'm sorry if I'm going too long. Okay. I read that when I was writing this training, I found a quote that I thought was super, super powerful, and I try to look at it consistently. Your competition isn't other people. Your competition is you. Your competition is your procrastination, your ego, the unhealthy food you're consuming, the negative behavior you're nurturing, your lack of creativity. Your competition is who you were yesterday. So compete against that. And every day, I really try to just focus and center there, because we can always find people to compare ourselves against, not even in this business, about everything in life, being a mom, our weight, how we dress, whether our house is clean or not. Like, it is hard. It is hard. Life can be hard. So compete against your best. Show up the best you can every day and be proud when you do it. The last thing, and the most important in my opinion, as you guys all walk your own road, is to know, hear me when I say this, the struggle is the reward. The struggle you are facing is the reward. I want you to think about this, you guys. Think about like being at a marathon and you're watching from the sidelines, and you have a guy who runs marathons every single weekend all over the country. He's the fastest one and he's flying through. Everyone's cheering him on, blah, blah, blah. And then you see a middle-aged mother of 3 and she's barely making it, but she's going and she's one of the last ones, but she crosses the finish line. Who do you want to talk to when the race is over? Who do you want to interview? Whose story do you want to hear? I want to talk to that mom. I want to hear her story, because she's the one who fought to get to the finish line. She's the one that had the struggle. She's the one, not that the other guy doesn't, not that they don't, but you get it. You guys get it. She's the one that had to mentally push herself to the end in a way that the other person didn't. And that is our story, you guys. The struggle is what makes the finish line so amazing, so sweet, so memorable. If you ask me about my experience going nation, chances are I'm not going to tell you about Maui. That's not going to be the first thing I will tell you about Maui. It's not going to be the first thing. And I'm probably not going to tell you about the moment I saw that number on my screen. I'm going to tell you what I got through to get there. I'm going to tell you about the struggle, because that's what I'm most proud of. Way to get emotional. That's what I'm most proud of. You guys who are struggling right now, like this will be the part of your story that you are so proud of. And when you are asked to train another success line, that's what you're going to tell everyone. So as you're writing it right now, and there's going to be other struggles, make it a good story. Make sure the comeback is a part of the story. Make sure you learn through the story so you can share that with other people. Your struggle is the part that will inspire hundreds and thousands of other Arbonne consultants. It's not the fact that you made it to the end. It's what you went through to get there. You don't have a story to share if you take the elevator. You have a story to share when you take one step at a time. And that's what you're going through right now. And I know it doesn't feel like it. You guys, I lost my region a year and a half after I promoted, and I take responsibility for that. I had one person join my team a few months before I went region, and she brought 10 to 15,000 a month with her, like immediately. The day I promoted to region, her and her leg quit. They were literally my business for 3 months. So I was a struggling region like the day after I promoted. And we struggled for a year and a half. I eventually lost my region for 8 months before getting it back. And what I had to go through during that 8-month time period was the hardest part in my business. And honestly, it was so hard that it affected my life outside of Arbonne. I started doubting hardcore who I was, whether I was good enough, to the point where, am I a good enough mom? Am I a good enough wife? Because I was working and trying so hard to hit 40,000. And every month, you guys, no joke, my team would fall around 37,000 every month, no matter what I did. No matter what I did. My sponsoring was up. My activity was through the roof. My leaders were on fire. And every month, it was almost like a mean trick from God. 37,000. And this is what I did, you guys. I'm going to leave you with this. I finally got to a point where I was more discouraged and more doubtful in my business than I had ever have been. And really the only time I've ever been doubtful in my business in 8 years. And I'm a Christian, so I pray a lot for my business. And I believe so much of that is why I've had my success, is because God's a part of it. But I finally got to a point where I like literally dropped to my knees and laid it down. I laid down my business, first of all, but I laid down the doubt and the worry and the stress and the control. How many of you are trying to control every aspect of your business every second of the day? I laid it all down, and it was like God told me, Laura, stop being frustrated and start being grateful. Like, why would I give you more if you are not grateful for what you have? Because for 8 months, it was, why not me? Why am I not hitting 40? This really sucks. Like, God, why aren't you helping me out here? What am I having to learn from this? I wasn't thinking abundantly. I was negative. I was this, that, or the other. And finally I got to a place where it was like, goodness gracious, Laura, you have a $35,000 team. I was making more at that point than my husband and I both made together before I started Arbonne. And I was frustrated and angry and questioning and doubtful. How dare I? And I finally just said, God, if this is all you have for me is a $35,000 Arbonne team, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for every dollar of it. And you guys, the doors swung open on my business. There was a week left in the month. We finished at 47, and the next month we did over 70, and we were a bonusing region ever since then and grew to nation. But you guys, in the struggle, there's something to learn. And you don't know what that is yet. None of us know what it is till we learn it. And then it's like it slaps you across the face like, why didn't I see this a year ago? But open your eyes, open your ears. Like, ask your upline, is there something you see? Is there something I need to grow in? Is there something? And know with confidence, you guys, here I am looking you guys in the eye again as I wrap this up. If you bring your A game consistently and you give it enough time, you will be a national vice president in Arbonne. You will be. Stop slowing yourself down. Take responsibility. Take responsibility. Stop being discouraged with the little things. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else and realize that the struggle you're going through is the reward of the whole thing. I think that's it. I think I have one quote and we're going to be done here. I know you can do it. This is how I want to wrap it up. I know you can be a national vice president with Arbonne, and this is why. I've done it. I've done it. I know you can choose to have grit. I know you can choose to be uncomfortable. I know you can choose to believe that you're capable and that you are made for more. You can choose to believe those things. And when you do, you will see your business growing. You will see your mind, your business, your belief, your team thriving. And we will see you in Maui. All right. I'm sorry I took a little extra time, but that is
Laura,
for you guys.
Not a dry eye here.
I almost cried a little bit.
Listen, you share very powerfully and very honestly. And I know that everyone is grateful here. I'm not even going to pretend like I've got something to say after that. I've got work to do. I've got work to do in my head. I've got work to do on my calendar. And I think you've inspired every single person on this call and the people who are going to watch it later to get that done. So thank you so much, Laura. You owe us nothing and you benefit nothing from doing this call. And you gave of yourself literally when you could have been sleeping and resting for your travel tomorrow. Laura, don't even interrupt me right now, because seriously, this is the biggest favor to every single person who's going to hear this. And we are nothing but grateful. We're grateful that you did this, and we're grateful that you poured into us, and we're going to pay it forward, because that is
I'm so grateful. I'm going through all the comments, and this is such a blessing to you guys. I mean, gosh, there's so many messages. I'm not going to get through them.
Do not do this before looking through those messages, Laura, because you have changed lives. You've changed businesses. You've changed hearts. You've changed heads. Like, your story matters. And that was the whole point of what you were sharing, was that we have to own our story. We have to share it with other people, and we have to walk that out and be willing to share it, because the struggle is the story and the story is what inspires. Yeah. And we each have to walk that out for what it means for us. And I am so grateful that you are willing to share yours with ours so just offeringly and genuinely. I cannot thank you enough. And I believe that this call and this day is a turning point for the people who were on this. I think they've already decided that. And if they haven't, they'll just start walking it out and realize and looking back that it was. So thank you so much. Have an amazing mission trip. We're so glad to be
Follow along, guys. Follow along. Find me on Instagram, Laura Lance, and I document all the stuff that we do. So check it out. It's going to be a great.
We love you. Go to bed.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Laura. Okay. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great night, and pay that forward. Don't sit and just absorb and enjoy, but create activity and asks and what you need for your business to pay that forward. That's so heavy and hot on your chest and in your heart. We need to share it with other people. So take care, everybody, and have a great night.